Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We're back with Apollo again. Had to switch up a couple of things. I think we were having some back issues. I think everything is fine now. If not, I have a backup plan to make this work. Apollo, sorry about that again. You were saying before about the MRI and all of that stuff. With the wife getting sick, we were pulling that up with the pericarditis on the MRI and all of that information you were providing us.
Yeah. So basically, like, the MRIs with contrast.
Yeah.
But like, basically, hello?
Yep.
So basically, I don't know what's someone who's going through.
Hold on, we're gonna switch. We're switching to Plan B. We're switching to Plan B. I'm contacting you through. Let me see.
Just do it.
Through Messenger. I'll do it through Messenger.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna do it a different way, folks. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, dude. There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. There's no lag.
So basically, MRI with contrast is dangerous. I don't know why I did what I did. I regret it so much.
Well, you know.
Everyone was warning me. But like I made choice based on emotions, which you should never do. Your emotions should not be commanding your choices. That should be your logic. Logic should be, even when it's choosing a partner, first it has to be logic, then emotion. Because you need to know that they'll be there for you. If you just do it through emotion, you can end up with a bad person. So, basically,
look at it this way. Nothing bad happened yet.
Yet.
What are you worried about?
But if you don't get treatment right away, things could get worse.
It could get worse if something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I know. So I'm treating like I'm a hypochondriac, but I always go with the thing that it's better safe than sorry, and I'm very sorry right now. So I guess I don't always go with that, but so if you don't treat myocarditis, it could turn into cardiomyopathy, and that could mean heart transplant and stuff. Like I actually, day after getting that EKG reading, I went to the hospital because EKG readings aren't always exact. I had my heart looked at by a hematologist, but he was not a cardiologist. He didn't detect any murmurs. But like my EKG readings always come out abnormal. I don't know if that was always the case. But like, it's always good to get like, at our age even, it's good to get a cardiologist, actually. I don't know if you know that. Because heart attacks are starting to affect people of younger age. A lot of stuff is affecting people of younger age.
All right, hold on. Look, I found something. Can we do this? Look, I got the hypochondriac test, 10 questions we can answer. And it'll tell us if we... Okay. You want to take it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so look here. Question 1. In the heat of passion, you and a new partner make love without... This is hypothetical. In the heat of the passion, you and your new partner make love without a condom. The next day, you have a slight fever. Do you rush out and get tested for an STD, yes or no?
The next day, I have a slight fever?
Yes.
No.
No? Okay, I would say...
No.
No as well.
Because, like, you don't know where the fever came from. You could have just gotten yourself a cold, and a fever doesn't always indicate an STD.
Yeah. Question 2. Have Have your friends or family stop taking you serious when you tell them you're not feeling well?
Yes.
Okay. Mine would be no. Question 3. Do you search for symptom of tumor or serious illness in Google when you have any sort of pain in your body?
Yes.
Question 4. On a first date, you notice what looks like a tiny cold sore on your date's lip. What do? Assume it's harmless and ignore it. Forgo the goodnight kiss. Assume he or she has herpes and end the date as soon as possible.
Um, I have cold sores too, so
Hmm.
I would actually go with B. But like back to the other one,
You
what
would
was
go
the
with
other
B
one
to
before
forego
that?
the kiss, or do
I
you?
wouldn't. I would forgo the.
Okay.
I would forgo the kiss because it's possible that it's definitely a herpes virus. But like cold sores are herpes, but they're not the STD kind. You could still
Right.
get it through a kiss,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I would do that one. But like back to the other one. What was the other one
Uh,
before that?
the last one was
Because
assume
I want
he.
to. I want to.
Assume.
Oh, the Google one. The Google one, right? So some of the symptoms I don't really notice. Like when I used to pray, I would run out of breath real easy. I don't know if that was anxiety or whatnot, but it was a very strange feeling for me.
Hmm. Yeah. Question 5. You turn on the news and everyone is talking about the bizarre new virus that's going around the country. What do? Search online for information about the virus, go straight to a clinic to get tested, wait for more information before doing anything, and just be a little bit more vigilant for now.
Probably a mix of A and C.
Uh huh.
Because and like sometimes I mess up because I got a little too scared with that and made a little irrational decisions that I'm regretting.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is a crazy test. It's like the questions aren't like actually for like a. Okay, let's see. Question 6. Do you find that many of your conversations turn to a subject of your health even when you're feeling well?
I haven't been feeling well, so it's it's a confusing question for me.
Yeah. So I guess maybe you're not feeling well, but it always does turn to your health. Would
Right,
that would,
right.
would that be a fair assessment to make?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
6. Yes. Question number 7. Have you ever gone to an emergency room for something that turned out to be minor? That turned out to
For
be
what you think is,
minor.
yeah.
Or maybe something that turned
Uh,
out to not be a big deal, which you thought would be a big deal.
okay. Well, I'll tell you something. Before this, I've never went to the emergency room, for anything except for something that was really affecting me.
Hmm.
And when I did go, I something.
Right. But
But
that's not.
now when I go, they run tests and they find nothing. But
Okay, so that's a yes. Even though that you never did that before, but now you started doing it. So you have started doing this, that you have gone to an ER and for something and it turns out to be nothing or something minor. So now you began doing it, even though you stated that before you haven't. So that's a yes.
question. The thing is that I don't know if it's mine or not because
Right.
they don't run all the tests and there's no.
No, of course. Question number 8. Do you watch medical dramas for tips or diagnosing, treatment, treating diseases?
No,
No, what the hell? Why would a hypochondriac do that? There would be more. I feel like
because
some, I guess. Okay, let's see. Number 9. After
I don't know that.
number
Yeah,
9. I'm sorry. Go ahed. Actually, you know what? Answer that. Why would they watch it? Can you tell me that? I don't understand why they would
I
watch it.
I don't know. I don't know because people watch fictitious stuff. I think a real hypochondriac would be watching not just that but actual medical shows and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue. All right. Question number 9. After reading the symptoms of a disease, do you start to think you have it? Oh, that's a good
Uh,
question. You see, there you go. They
that
should
that's a
be
good
that
question. That is a good question. to not think that, but now it's like, okay, so like with my platelet levels, they're a little elevated. So, I read about something, and like, what the crazy thing is? I read about it later, and it's, no. I read about it later, and it's like, holy shit, I had this sign or symptom before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird.
But would you say that's a yes, or would you say? I would say that's probably a yes for you.
I don't know, because it's weird. It's a good question, but it's weird because I would notice it after the fact.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying yes.
Like I would be like I would
Okay. Question 10.
I used to pray. I used to pray, and then I would be out of breath, and I'm like thinking, why am I out of breath? Is it because I'm anxious? Blah blah blah. But like I never get out of breath like this before, so I don't know.
But when you used to pray?
Yeah, a few weeks back.
Did you stop praying now? Has your prayers?
I stopped praying because, well, I want to believe and like I'm having trouble with that, so it's very scary. On top of that, being out of breath.
You shouldn't be scared. Just to add to that, you shouldn't be scared. I don't believe I have nothing
but also,
to fear.
but also, when I was going out of breath with my prayers, maybe I talked too quick. But like being out of breath was not helpful for me.
Understood. So in a way, you stopped praying too because your heart rate would get too fast, because you would get too into praying. So maybe you ceased your praying, possibly because you're struggling with your beliefs, and also because it raises your heart rate up too much if you're praying too hard.
Well, no, I run out of breath for some reason.
You run out of breath. Understood. Okay. Last question, silly question. Do you own a medical dictionary? What? Who owns? Like, dude, we have phones. Is this from fucking 1990? Score my test. If they make me register, I'm gonna tell them go after themselves. You got a 60. You are a moderate hypochondriac. You sometimes worry excessively about unusual symptoms, and occasionally blow normal aches and pains out of proportion. This is understandable. When you're experiencing something out of the ordinary, it can be quite worrisome. It's always a good idea to keep a close watch on your health and make every effort to stay in touch with your body. But if this process causes major anxiety, then you're overdoing it. Which I agree with. I don't agree the questions are stupid, but I agree with this. If this process causes major anxiety, then you're overdoing it. Which, Apollo, I think that's the big takeaway for me. Strive to keep hypochondriac tendencies in check so that they don't get the better of you. Evidently, if you have any health problems, then keep a close eye on your symptoms. Keeping a close eye on your symptoms is actually a good idea. Just try not to worry yourself too much until you speak to a professional. Which I agree. The biggest takeaway.
I spoke to a professional. I got what happened was, so I got a CAT scan and MRI without contrast done on my chest. But the difference is there's a difference between chest and cardiac. Cardiac specifically focuses on the heart. Chest focuses on the general chest area. Yeah. So I didn't know that.
What was the test?
And it's hard. It was for mild pericarditis.
Okay. So.
But like I said, I need a cardiac one, a heart one. That was just a broad chest one. And MRI with contrast also has an effect on platelets. I don't know. Some contrasting agents can lower your platelets to a dangerous level. Some contrasting agents can aggregate your platelets, leading to blood clots.
Right. You were saying your platelet. What is your platelet count, sir?
At one point it was 384, then it went up to 413. Now it's back to 383.
Oh, dude, that's beautiful. So it went down again.
Hopefully it stays down. I need to drink a lot of water for it to stay down. I also need to get some sleep, which is very hard when you have this anxiety.
It's good, though, that it went down, though, because 450 is... If you have 450, that's the high normal. I guess, and you were at four the low fours, but now you're at the three, so you're in the clear right now. But lack of sleep
Well,
raises it, right?
yeah,
Lack of sleep and platelet count. Let's pull that up, boys and girls. Let's see.
it does raise it.
Yeah, it decreases fat within the red bone and increases platelet count. So that's a big thing because you said, Apollo, you've been saying how many hours of sleep do you average a night?
Like 6, if I do sleep at all.
Are you usually sleeping or you're skipping days? Are you skipping days of sleep or no?
Yeah.
That's not bad. So
Yeah.
good at all.
So like, like I keep a bottle of aspirin next to me just in case. But if you get the Widowmaker heart attack, there's not even aspirin can help you. You're done.
Wait, what do you mean you keep a bottle of aspirin next to you? In case you're getting a heart attack?
Yeah.
You think you might be getting a heart attack because of your platelet levels that are high?
Well, you could if it's too high, like like you said, above the 450 range.
How
You
old
can
are
get
you?
I'm in my 30s.
Okay. You see, this is where I would take what they're saying with the hypochondriac. This would be like a red flag for me. You're early 30s. You're sleeping
Remember I told you about the vaccine memorial wall?
Yes.
And like all these people dying of heart attacks at a very young age. There's a reason for that. We've been seeing a lot of young people dying from these things, or even pulmonary embolism or strokes or whatever. It's all from the platelets going too high, causing blood clots that could travel through your body. Sometimes you get what's called deep vein thrombosis, which is like blood clot in your leg, and like if it dislodges, it could go anywhere in your body.
Right.
So now I gotta really watch myself, and I've been talking to this kid from Europe, and he got pericarditis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard when you talk to doctors and you're like, oh, it's from this specific thing. They kind of dismiss you. I had an echocardiogram done, and it's like a sonogram. What they do for pregnant women.
EKG.
Except they do not. No, EKG is something else. EKG is when they attach electrodes to your chest, and they look at the electrical signals. Mm-hmm. You actually could run it from your iWatch.
Okay.
It'll detect if your heart is beating at a normal rate. I usually get sinus rhythm, which means that it is. It doesn't detect arrhythmia in the heart. But like the last thing that scared me was possible left ventricle hypertrophy, and it could lead to aortic stenosis. And if you get that, like, you're screwed. You're really screwed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Aortic stenosis. Aortic valve stenosis occurs when a heart's aortic valve narrows. The valve doesn't fully open, which reduces blood flow, or worst case, blocks blood flow from your heart to your main artery and to the rest of your body. It's a common thing people have. It's more than 200 cases. 200,000 cases per year. What's the
but the life expectancy of aortic stenosis is 2 to 3 years.
You could have a surgery if it's real. In severe cases, surgery.
An open heart surgery.
Yeah. Wait, you think you might have this, dude? No way. You're overthinking this.
I mean, look, my EKG came back with that. I went to the hospital the next day. They ran another.
Back with what? Your EKG came back with possible what? Stenosis?
Possible left vein hypertrophy and possible ischemia. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why they didn't even, because they're like, oh, it's not always accurate, but like, just give me an ACE inhibitor.
So hold on, if they said that that's possible, are they going to do, what's the follow-up? What are they doing?
The follow-up would be, well, I did another chest x-ray. Echocardiogram.
Echocardiogram. How many X-rays have you had done in the last year?
3. And a CT scan.
And a CT scan. At a certain point, are you running a higher risk with getting all of these scans? That
Yes.
increase the chance. They increase what the chance of cancer. I'm assuming.
Yes. But you got to take the risk now to live longer later, right?
Well, I mean I know the CT scan's a little bit higher than an X-ray, but still, even an X-ray, it's not that bad. Like it's honestly, it's the chances are like they barely increase your chances of developing cancer.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? You don't feel the heat from X-rays and CT scans. You feel the heat from MRI machines.
I don't know. I didn't feel anything.
So
I had an MRI done. I didn't feel anything. All I was worried about people were
I
telling.
had it on my I had it on my chest. I was like, huh? What the hell is this? They're like, oh, okay.
I had it on my. I had shoulder surgery, so I had to do it for my shoulder.
Right. As long as you don't have any metal in your body, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. I did it. I was worried about that because people were telling me like, oh, if you're claustrophobic, some people have issues with it, and I was like, I don't think I am. I don't know. I'm like, I don't think I have claustrophobia or anything.
Honestly, if you're claustrophobic and you can't do an MRI, like they'll give you sedatives.
Yep. I heard about that.
So
what's going on? So you have freaking hypertrophy of your heart, of your left ventricle hypertrophy. It was left.
According to one of the, according to the EKG,
So
it's the lower left. It's the lower left quarter of the heart.
Okay. No, I got you. I'm just pulling it up. I'm trying to see what the thing is. Valve problems can cause the lower chamber to thicken. What's your blood pressure like?
It was actually very good today. They said at the office for the hematologist. Mm-hmm. They ran a blood profile. So yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this. Hold on. Let me read this for you. What is the life expectancy of somebody with left ventricle hypertrophy? Research has shown that with proper treatment and follow-ups, most people with that disorder live a normal life. A database of 1,297 patients with that disorder from the Minneapolis Heart Institute Foundation identified that 2% of the patients can live past 90 years old, and 69 of them are women.
Yeah, it's true. It's true if you catch it early enough. What?
You can live a normal life. You can live up till
what?
You can live a normal life.
I know, but I gotta get the proper diagnoses and all that. I mean, they did a chest X-ray, stuff like that. Looks like I kind of screwed myself because I thought contrast doesn't do anything to you. I was incredibly wrong on that.
Wait, but you haven't done the contrast.
I should have done a lot.
Wait, have you done the contrast or you
what?
haven't? You haven't done the contrast.
I kind of wish I did. No.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish I did.
Are you gonna do the contrast or now because you know the risks associated? Or...
I would have still went for it. Yeah. If it wasn't for the platelets, because now I gotta think which contrasting agent they're gonna use, and the ones that lower the platelets are the ones that do more damage on the kidneys, and the ones that make the platelets aggregate are the ones that do less damage on the kidneys.
Right. Because I guess it's kidney toxic, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, because it gets filtered out through your
Yeah,
kidneys.
yeah. So it's but I know it's kidney toxic. I'm assuming.
I mean, a lot of people have got it done with contrast, and they normalize adverse reactions are for a few people. But it still has to come with the black box warning. They've been known about it since 2016, so it's actually rather new.
You just
And
got
the
to drink.
myocarditis.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just reading about the gadolinium. They were saying you just got to drink a lot of water to flush it out. That's about it. The contrast dye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do. You gotta drink tons and tons of water. That's what I was planning on doing too, and having a follow up with a kidney doctor
Oh, that's smart.
to make sure. Yeah, but like now it's like, do I do that? I could aggregate my platelets. I don't fucking know. So like, I'm looking all this up because
Also, like I was saying before, you should be getting a lot of sunlight, at least some sunlight out, and vitamin D. That's important for your health, which I know you're not getting, and you have to start doing that. 20-minute walks and vitamin D. It's one of the most important vitamins you need in your body.
Wait 1 second. So I'm trying to figure out what the platelets, because I just figured out, because like, I looked up originally that it could cause platelets to lower, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got high platelets anyways,
Okay.
so maybe that could help me, but no. I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. At one point, I ruled out myocarditis just to like figure out that I had the wrong scan done, and on top of it, my EKGs came back, so now I got to rule it back in. Like, this is just the worst, because like I wanted to be able to live on my own, but like I don't know if I ever will.
It's okay if you don't. That's what they. You know what I mean. You don't have to live. Why would you want to live on your own? If you live on your own, that increases your chances of depression, suicide, all these horrible things. Living.
No, when I was on my own before, I wasn't as depressed actually.
What? Really? Well,
Yeah, the only thing
wait.
that
What do you mean living? But you mean living on your own? But you mean like with a girlfriend though? You had somebody, right? Or you mean like isolated?
I was isolated, but I was still doing a lot better than I am now, and I mean a lot better.
But I mean, in a way, that makes sense because I think COVID did mess up a lot of people. Dude, you're not the only one that COVID messed up. A lot of people, like depression, people reaching out to psychiatrists has gone through the roof. Depression, stress, anxiety has just gone through the roof. It just messed everybody up. You're not the only one. Listen,
Yeah.
that's the big thing. I think Sorry, go ahead.
The crazy thing is I was in the ER twice very recently, and both times they released me. But the first time they actually gave me papers on my blood work. This time it's like I had to actually ask for a release, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna email you and send it to the mail," and I still didn't receive anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, it's very hard for me to sleep. I sleep with my legs elevated because apparently sleeping with your legs elevated actually helps with a lot of those heart related issues. But it's not. It doesn't really do anything. You need treatment.
How do you sleep
Like,
with your legs elevated?
I
Are
don't.
you using a pillow or something?
Um, all over the place with it. I am using a pillow, but I'm not sleeping on a bed. I don't want to sleep on a bed.
How come you don't want to sleep on the bed?
I don't know, because if something happens to me, maybe I could wake up, pop that aspirin. But like I said, if I have aortic stenosis and it goes through the aorta, I'm done.
Wait a minute. You don't want to wait. Hold on a second. You don't want to sleep on a bed because you'll get too comfortable in a bed. So you want to sleep on a surface that's not comfortable. So you might have an extra second to pop that aspirin in case your heart goes.
Yeah, but it might not even save me anyways.
Exactly. So is it worth to put yourself through like that? You're torturing yourself just because you think that you're gonna get a half. You're gonna be able to grab that aspirin half a second sooner if you're sleeping on the ground or in
If
the
there's
you're
if
sleeping on the
there's a
balcony.
complete if there's a complete blockage of the aorta, what?
Wait, well, dude, you can get a test for that. So if you have blockage, get the calcium test. My friend did it. Oh, my friend actually didn't do it. I'm sorry. Calcium.
The cal-
My friend didn't do it actually, but he wanted to do it because he took a lot of steroids, right? So
Right.
he took a lot of steroids and he was doing a what was it called? He took a lot of steroids and he was doing a like a keto diet. So it's all it was even more than the keto diet. It was just all fat. He was doing a super fat diet and he took steroids and his doctor was telling him when he went to the doctor to get his blood work done, his doctor was saying, he's like, I've been doing medicine for like 20 years. He said, I've never seen cholesterol levels this high. His cholesterol levels were, I think, 500.
No, my cholesterol levels a few months ago were very low.
But I'm
Um,
just saying for my friend, like, so, with him,
yeah,
he wanted
both,
to do this
both,
calcium
both,
test.
both,
So, no, no,
both,
but
both
just
my
to,
good and bad.
yeah, but just to get to my test, let me see a calcium. There's a test. There's a test that checks. I think the cal. It's like it checks the blockage, the calcium buildup. It checks, but it's very like it's a test that's like very. I guess they use a lot of radiation to test for it, or at least it's like equivalent to like 200 chest X-rays or something like that. I forgot what the test is. Mm, so he didn't do it. He didn't want to do it. He said he was able to do it, but he said he didn't want to do it because he's like, dude, it's equivalent to like 200 chest X-rays.
Right.
What would that test? How to test for buildup? Let me see. What's that test? Yeah, it's one of the worst ones. Coronary calcium scan. Is that it? I wonder if that's the one. But yeah, he didn't do that one, and he was very worried too. And he switched his diet. He switched his diet to a Mediterranean keto instead of just like regular Mediterranean. Just switch it to a Mediterranean keto diet. Because I convinced him. I told him this. I said, listen, look. The big takeaway was this. I told him. I said, look. Okay, you feel healthy. You think all this shit is right. But what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong with this keto shit and it's actually clogging you up and you're gonna die? Like, is it worth it? You know? So for him.
This dude. Oh my god. I feel bad for people. This is crazy. Okay, so basically, I mean, I should have waited. I was stupid, and I'm paying for it possibly with my life.
What the fuck you talking? Waited for what?
Oh.
Dude, what are you talking about? Waited? What should you do? Waited for?
What?
You said I'm stupid. I should have waited for it. What are you talking about?
For the job, I should have waited more, measured more. I would have realized that it's not necessary.
Dude, you got one jab. You're gonna be fine. It's already been 2 months.
Yeah, I know, and people died 3 months later from cardiomyopathy, which is basically like what I'm going through. But they would.
That's not true.
They
Hold
would.
on,
They
wait
would.
a
They would.
minute.
They would. They would. They would. They would catch. They would catch water in the. They would catch water in the heart on an echocardiogram. And like when I was at a cardiologist last time, he's like, "Don't worry, you don't have myocarditis, but like If you go on Myocarditis Foundation, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Because like a lot of physicians don't even know about it.
Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm looking at this cardiomyopathy. Do you have any swollen legs or a bloated belly?
No.
That's one of the big side effects. That you start retaining a lot of fluids and water in your lower extremities and stuff, or like your belly too, because your heart's not able to pump it out.
So like.
Yeah, because look, no, but just look really quick. Look, the symptoms: shortness of breath, or trouble breathing, especially with physical exertion, fatigue, swelling in the ankles, feet, legs, abdomen, and veins in the neck. You don't have that. And that's one of like the, you know what I mean? You might not have that.
So I had a relative that had pericarditis. For them, it went away on its own. Thank God for that. The inflammation enlarges, weakens the heart, creates scar tissue, and forces it to work harder to circulate blood and knock throughout the body. While we can associate cardiovascular conditions with elderly populations, myocarditis can affect anyone, including those children and infants. In fact, it most often affects otherwise healthy young athletic types. That's why you see some athletes dropping, because they don't realize they have heart issues, which is why it's important that after your 20s you actually start going to a cardiologist like once a year or something.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Nobody knew that.
I don't think after your 20s,
So
maybe in your 30s.
symptoms of
Dude,
myocarditis.
but hold on a second. Wait. But just go get a visit. You know, get like a yearly, get a yearly test. That's what you're supposed to do anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like myocarditis, how is it diagnosed? EKG, chest X-ray, echocardiogram, less frequently a cardiac magnetic, and MRI creates images using a magnetic field and really hard biopsy. After myocarditis, after treatment, many patients live long, full lives free of the effects of myocarditis. For others, however, ongoing cardiovascular medication or even a heart transplant may be needed. Overall, myocarditis, which can cause dilated cardiomyopathy, are thought to account for up to 45% of heart transplant in the U.S. today. Healthy lifestyle changes can also support proper heart function. Your doctor may recommend that you reduce sodium in your diet, which I have. I keep saying no salt in my diet. Avoid alcohol. Limit fluid intake. I don't know what it means by that, because for my platelets, I do have to drink water. But I have quit smoking. It's also generally advised that you avoid competitive sports and other rigorous exercise for a period after diagnosis to be determined by the cardiologist. And while it's possible for the disease to come back, more so in giant cell myocarditis, it is extremely rare. Can it recur? Yes, myocarditis can recur, and in some cases can lead to a chronically enlarged heart, called dilated cardiomyopathy. There is no known way to prevent recurrence of myocarditis. However, the risk of recurrence is low, probably about 10 to 15%. What can be done to prevent myocarditis? No lifestyle changes or medical treatment are known to prevent viral myocarditis. Because myocarditis is rare, information is limited regarding its causes and effective treatments. Myocarditis is not believed to be inherited. No genes are known to predispose people to it. The majority of cases of myocarditis have no symptoms and are not diagnosed. However, when a person develops symptoms, common tests of myocarditis, which I just went through. So, myocarditis are caused by viral infections are a leading cause of myocarditis inflammation. Occurs during the course of the infection, putting stress on the heart that remains even after the infection is resolved. Cancer, bacterial infections, and other contagious diseases can also cause myocarditis, as can exposure to environmental toxins ranging from metal poisons to spider and snake venom. A significantly smaller group of individuals with autoimmune conditions may develop giant cell myocarditis. This variation of the disease often results in deterioration, but may still respond successfully to treatment, especially when diagnosed early. Currently, there are no known lifestyle choices or medical treatments that can prevent myocarditis. Your heart is a four-chambered muscular pump about the size of an adult fist. Normally, the heart beats around 60 to 100 times per minute, pumping blood throughout your body with each beat. Two upper heart chambers called right and left atria. Each is called atrium. Receive blood that returns to the heart from the body. Veins carry this. I'm sitting down, and I got 101 beats per minute right now.
Wait, 101?
Yeah, while I'm talking to you.
What the hell is that? Is that the noise? Is that what the noise is? Would you check your heart rate?
When it goes above a certain threshold, I made it that way.
Okay, so let me see heart rate zones right now. And you're sitting down resting?
It went back down to 85.
But it was just over 100?
By one beat, yeah.
But you're not smoking?
No.
You're just sitting down, you're not drinking, you're not smoking anything?
No alcohol, at least.
When's the last time you slept?
Probably last night, but very little.
That'll do it right there. Not sleeping one night. You know what I mean? But very little. Lack of sleep right away will raise it.
Right while I'm sitting? Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is in general, it'll. Wait a minute. In general, it'll raise it. But then if you're reading anxiety-inducing things, you know, if you're getting yourself,
but my anxiety.
if you're getting yourself worked up.
You're talking to me. Does it seem like I'm anxious?
No. Okay. So then you know what happened? You were talking really fast, and actually you were talking really fast, and you didn't take any breaths. So you weren't breathing when you were talking. So there you go. Your heart increased because you weren't taking in oxygen. So your heart had to work harder to pump the blood because you weren't breathing because you were reading really fast. Were you not just now when you just told me it went off?
I think so. I think you might have a point there.
That's what you did. You were just reading really fast without breathing, where you normally
That's how I pray too. So it's like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so there you go. That's how you pray. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Look. That's exactly what just happened because you were reading really fast, and I noticed that you were going really fast and you weren't breathing as much, so your heart had to work faster because you're not taking in more oxygen.
Right. I mean, listen, the EKG can be faulty, but a lot of things can be faulty. I wish that, like, you know, she said, like, oh, you know what? You're good. Nothing to worry about.
Right.
I went to one cardiologist. He's very good. I gave him a 5-star rating, but he's just very far. He's an interventionist cardiologist, which means, like, he can perform things that other cardiologists cannot do, like a heart biopsy. I should have stuck with him for a little while, but, yeah. I rated him 5 stars. He was good. He's like, don't worry, you don't have myocarditis. If you did, there would be fluid in the echocardiogram.
Yeah. Like I was
the echocardiogram.
Well, yeah, right. But also if you were talking about the other one, the left ventricle hypertrophy, also the symptoms of that one, that was swelling and getting like edema in your legs too, which you don't have yet, and that's I guess in the advanced stages. But I think you're, you don't have anything to worry about, dude.
I know. But if you go on Vaccine Memorial Wall, you'll notice that the young people that are passing away, they're just walking and they just fucking fall. Usually, wouldn't you fucking find a sign or symptom that would be like, hey, this is wrong? So they're not even finding that. 105.
105?
Some people. Yep.
Well, you're getting yourself worked up probably. Right now you probably sound you do sound a little bit more nervous than normal. So. And I mean, dude, still, listen, so what, 105, it's nothing to worry about. Listen, there's people who had heart rates at 200 and they still didn't have a heart attack.
Right.
Doesn't feel good. It probably doesn't feel good.
But like when you don't want to fuck with your aortic valve because that's still, like I said, there's no surviving that. If there's a complete blockage of that, you're screwed.
Yeah.
If you have aortic stenosis, you got 2 years, 3 years, unless you can get a transplant. And there's probably a huge waiting list for heart transplants.
Oh yeah.
And even then, if you go on the waiting list, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you need to take this in order to get that." So it screws you even more. I would just tell them, "Hey, give it to me while you're doing the transplant. I'll take it while you're doing the transplant, or keep me artificially alive for a few weeks. Give me an artificial heart for
Pig
a couple of weeks."
I'll give you a pig heart. Would you take it?
The guy that they recently did it on died 2 months later.
I just saw it right now. So what happened? He got the pig heart. How did you read up on it? How did it go down?
No.
So I wonder what it was. Was it like a straight up pig heart that was like genetically modified to be like a human heart that the pig grew?
Well, I don't know, but like if you read up on the pig heart, it's actually very similar to our heart. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why they used it.
Yeah, and I think they modified it, right?
And on top of that, like he was old too, so there's no telling if it's from him being old or. Yeah. Wow, just from getting up and walking back and forth, 103.
103? Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's not good.
107. That's anxiety. Sitting down.
That's anxiety, though. 107.
I'm breathing normal. I'm breathing normally.
Yeah.
Now it's at 96. So I was thinking like, oh, MRI gold standard, you'll be fine. Nope. That's why I thought it was all an insurance thing, which it sometimes is, because like, why do you need a referral? I mean, I guess I get it. A specialist need to tell another specialist, like, hey, you need to do this.
No, but look at it this way. Many people experience heart palpitations along with anxiety. Anxiety sets off the body's fight or flight response.
Do I sound like I'm anxious? Do I sound like I'm running around?
It doesn't matter if maybe you're so used to it already that your body's just setting it off. It doesn't mean you learn to live with it. You know what I mean? There's people that are fucking, you know what I mean? It's like for example, like you know how like there's like schizophrenic people in Manhattan, they come up and they're like, "Oh, I'm Jesus." But they're not, they don't seem completely crazy. You start talking to them. At first you're talking to them, they're like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" You're like, "Yeah, sure." But they're like, "Oh, so I have this job, blah blah blah." And then next thing you know, they're like, "I'm the son of Jesus," but they seem normal. Because they've had it for so long, they just learn to live with it. You know how they say, like, drunks, for example? Some people are drunk for, like, big, like, alcoholic drunks. They drink so long, they can drive better when they're drunk. They learn how to deal with it. So maybe you had it for so long, anxiety, that you don't allow it to control certain parts of your life where you're able to, but it still doesn't stop the adrenal gland from releasing the adrenaline. You know what I mean? Is that possible? Do you think I'm crazy?
Well, can you be anxious and not know it? Yeah, not know it. When anxiety symptoms appear and you don't know you're an anxious person, you can have physical symptoms of anxiety without feeling anxious. So it's not that you aren't anxious, but that you aren't aware of being anxious and that your anxious behaviors are causing your physical symptoms. But what the fuck does it mean by that? Anxiety symptoms when not anxious. When anxiety symptoms appear and you don't know you're an anxious person, you can have physical symptoms of anxiety without feeling better. So it's not that you aren't anxious, but that you aren't aware of being anxious and that your anxious behaviors are causing your physical symptoms. Okay, let's see. Anxiety tests. Free online anxiety tests. Are you a worrier? Yeah, I worry all the time now. How often do you imagine the worst? Always. Has anxiety stopped you from doing something you normally would do? Yeah, it's probably going to be to all this. When facing an uncertain or dangerous situation, do you worry about it until the situation has been resolved or passed? Yes.
Wait, hold on, hold on,
according
hold
to
on, hold
like.
on. Wait. Let's take this test on my end because I can pull it up on my thing. Here, I got it. How often have you been bothered by feeling nervous, anxious, or on the edge over the last 2 weeks? Answer one, A. Not at all. Several days. More than half the days. Nearly every day.
What was the question?
How often have you been bothered by feeling nervous, anxious, or on the edge over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half the days. Nearly every day.
Nervous.
Nervous,
I mean,
anxious, or on edge. On edge meaning something bad is going to happen to you, like you have like some sort of disease that you might die. On edge.
yeah.
Not at all. Several days. More than half the days. Every day.
Every day.
Question 2. How often have you been bothered by not being able to stop or control worrying over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half. Every day.
I've been looking up stuff for the past 2 weeks,
Okay, so every day.
but I've been doing it like this, where it doesn't. I don't show physical signs of anxiety. I don't talk like I'm
Right,
anxious,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
definitely.
Because I think you've had it for so long that you somewhat learn to like live with it, and it shows its head. It peeks its head in different ways where other people like they wouldn't be able to deal with the anxiety that you're dealing with. Question 3. How often have you been bothered by worrying too much about different things over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half. Every day.
Every day.
Okay. 4. How often have you been bothered by having trouble relaxing over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. Every day.
All day. All day. I mean, I try to relax, but I lost interest in things.
Right. Question 5. How often have you been bothered by being so restless that it is hard to sit still over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half. Every day.
I'm sitting right now. I sit a lot, but sometimes I do pace around. There were times, so some days, for the last few months, I've been walking around sometimes because when you have high platelets, you kind of want to walk around, but if you have myocarditis, you don't want to walk around.
Question 6. How often have you been bothered by becoming easily annoyed or irritated over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half the days. Every day.
Annoyed somewhat sometimes.
So would that be several days or more than half the days, you would say?
Several days. I don't get annoyed much.
7. How often have you been bothered by feeling afraid as if something awful might happen to you over the last 2 weeks? Not at all. Several days. More than half the days. Nearly every day.
Every day. Something bad happening every day.
Anxiety test. Your score is 17 out of 21. Your score falls in the high range anxiety. Has probably gotten in the way of you doing work, meeting friends, doing stuff that matters to you. This isn't a diagnosis, but it looks like it's time to get help. Talk to a health professional like your GP to find treatment that works best for you. Get to a doctor and talk to them about trouble sleeping, racing thoughts, trouble breathing, tummy aches, headaches, racing heart, feeling faint. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could show this to one of my relatives so that way he can understand why I'm so.
Whoa. What do you mean? They're in denial? They're saying you're not? The fuck are they saying?
They don't understand mental health.
Oh, wait, so what are they saying? What are they saying? Just get a grip?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
And calling me an abuser and stuff like that. But I've done several things wrong in the past, and I'm trying to make up for it. But it's just impossible at this point because I've done so much wrong. So it's like now that I really need help, I get no help. Which is the fucking worst. If somebody was able to go, one of my other relatives was trying to help me, but he comes back to me saying I'm a hypochondriac. And instead of helping me get the right tests, he just literally, like, he helped me make appointments, but, like, he kind of, like, jeopardized some of those appointments, too.
I heard
Because,
about
like, he's
that
like,
too.
it's important to talk about your mental health. And I agree, it is. But at the same time, you don't want to do that because, like, now the doctor doesn't take you serious and you don't get the tests you need. Like, I needed a blood test with the PCP, and he goes off saying about how I'm a hypochondriac, and the guy refused to do a blood test. Why?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
So, like, what was the point of all that?
I guess he thinks he's helping you by doing that, but that's not the right way to go about helping somebody if they are. I'm not saying you are a hypochondriac, but I'm saying if you were to be a hypochondriac, that this would not be the way you would go about helping one. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well,
The best way would have been like, okay, take the test, and I'm gonna prove you wrong that way.
yeah, exactly.
That's what I wanted to happen, unless it was a dangerous test, And getting your blood work done a lot, it can be dangerous, but it's not that dangerous. People shoot up more often than they fucking get blood.
Yeah, what the hell? Wait, why is getting your blood work done dangerous? It's not just dangerous, it can just be like an OCD type of thing where you're just obsessively compulsing about.
All right, let's go. Let's go look on Dr. Google.
Okay, what are we
Why
looking for?
is blood work dangerous?
What? Why the fuck would you even think that? You see, this is where I think this
Why
would be.
is
There, it shouldn't be, but this is where I think where this would be lead to the hypochondria for you, sort of, because I would
what
never even
happened?
think that. I would never even think that. Why would that even be dangerous? They just take your blood and test it. What would be dangerous?
Over aggressive blood tests can also cause harm. Um,
Like what?
Points to data suggest that repeat blood work to lead to drop of anemia blood count, which can affect their recovery. I mean, my blood count's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you have anemia, yeah, you shouldn't get it done every 3 months. But
I don't have anemia.
I understand. That's what I'm saying.
And, like, because he convinced the practitioner that I'm a hypochondriac, I couldn't get the blood work.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what the fuck? And, like, I asked him, what diet should I go on? Because he studied nutrition. He's like, until we get a baseline for you, I can't tell you anything. Like, okay, fine. I don't even know my baseline before this all happened. I was retarded for missing doctor appointments because, like, I was too afraid of what's going on in the world, if you know what I mean.
Right. A lot of shit going on in the world right now.
You got the conflict, which is very upsetting. But you know what's crazy? Now that the conflict is happening, nobody's talking about coronavirus anymore. You notice that?
Yeah, of course, because it's fucked up what's going on. They're killing little kids. Did you see the bombing of that hospital that they did? Did you see that?
I did not. I've seen other videos that were disturbing. I don't agree with what's happening. But at the same time, people are overly focused on that, and rightfully, like, it's right to focus on that. But in my opinion, you have to also focus on you have to also focus on other things too.
No, dude, I'm not saying you don't,
Like,
but look at this shit. But
I get what you're saying.
War crimes are happening. They're killing little kids. They're killing innocent people. They're
I get
killing
it. I get
people.
it. And
They're
it's very sad.
invading.
You know what? Listen. There was a 6-year-old walking around that lost both the parents. I was hearing a story about this from a parent, and 6-year-old lost both the parents walking around, has no parents. It's like fucking World War II for them. So that's very sad and traumatic, and I understand why people are focused on it. It sucks. I actually have a friend that went to Ukraine. I didn't even know this. I found this out today. My friend either went or is going, and he's actually one of those famous friends. I guess since he posted on Facebook, I asked another friend if I could say who it is, and you'll be shocked as to who it is.
Who is it?
It's the Bing Bong F your life guy.
Who is that? I don't know. I don't know that. Who is this person?
You don't remember when that was going on? Bing bong, fuck your life.
No. Who is that?
Look it up. The video, Bing bong, fuck your life. He was famous for like a month.
And what? Who is this guy? What is he doing?
He went to Ukraine.
Why?
I don't know.
He's Ukrainian?
Yeah, man.
Bing bong, fuck your life. Who is he?
He was famous. They made a meme out of him.
Oh. Oh, he just said it? Online?
What?
Oh, okay. Wait, so hold on a second. Let me look at it. I don't know who the hell he is. He was famous because he said that?
He was on like a guy's show.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking at it right now. Wait, it says it might be inappropriate. Go fuck yourself. Inappropriate. Fuck you, you cocksucker. Show me the fucking thing. This video might be inappropriate? Fucking show it, pussy. What the fuck? I'm logged into my Facebook account and they're saying it might be inappropriate?
He goes, go fuck yourself, bing bong, fuck your life.
Let me see.
Fuck your life, bing bong. 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 Fuck your life, bing bong.
Whatever.
Bing
So
bong.
this guy,
Fuck
he's
your
your
life,
friend?
bing bong.
Yeah,
He's your
good friend of mine too.
So he went viral for saying this, and what happened? Did he make any money off of this or no?
I don't know, but his relative was actually
Bing bong, 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 bing bong.
The guy, the lady that was on Uncut Gems.
Dude, I don't know.
But they both.
I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But whatever, good for him.
Yeah, it is good for him. Well, no, I don't. No, I don't really want him to be in Ukraine because I worry for his safety. There's another guy we wanted, like one of my friends wanted to donate to him, which is a very good cause because the dude's in Ukraine. But my friend was about to put up his name. He's like, "Don't put up my name. Don't put up my information," which I understand why. Because once you put up that information, now you're on Russia's hit list.
Oh yeah, big time.
So I told him that. And I said, just make it for general Ukrainians and just send most of the money to him. So that way, you are genuinely helping Ukrainians. Yeah. So, not most of the money, but enough money to help them out.
What do you think?
What?
What do you think is going to happen? How does this play out? This fucking, dude, seriously, how does this play out? Does Putin, he can't stop. That's the crazy thing. He can't, if he stops, that's it. He's going to lose Russia. I mean, he can't retreat.
No, he could retreat. If he retreats and he says he messes up, if he had an exit plan, and by the way, there is talks of a ceasefire now. There is talks of a ceasefire, so there is a way that he can backstep what is going on in Ukraine, and because I'm pretty sure a lot of Russians in his country are not happy with what he's doing, but there are a lot of Russians that do support him too.
Yeah.
So, he does have a firm grip on Russia, but he's probably going to lose that grip in some sort of way unless he becomes more unless Russia becomes more authoritarian and people can't.
But dude, they are, aren't they? They're passing laws that you'll get 15 years now if you're spreading misinformation, and it's up to the government to determine what is misinformation. Right.
Well, as far as I know, and it's only a guess, but, they don't know who votes for what unless they do, people are kind of stuck voting for him,
right,
even if they don't agree with it, kind of like what's in North Korea. Did you know that North Korea holds elections every 8 years?
Gotcha.
Did you know that?
I got you. I know what you mean by that. I know, yeah, they hold it, but there is no election.
Yeah, there's only one name on that ballot. And there's another box for someone else.
Right.
And people are watching you.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Fuck.
So like, apparently with COVID, deer are catching it and transmitting it back to humans, possibly. And there's Deltacron 2.0 now, so it's like, what the fuck? So they're just trying to scare people. I'm just trying to be safe.
Dude, I know you're trying to be safe, but listen, like they read it in the test we took. You can't let anxiety control your life. If you're letting it control your life,
do I sound like I'm anxious?
what did we just talk about? We just spoke about it. I feel like you had anxiety for so long that you're like an alcoholic who can drive a car. Where it's like there's an alcoholic and you're like a functioning alcoholic. Where a regular drunk, right? A person who who just drinks normally, he couldn't do the stuff you can do. So like let's say a person gets drunk, they'd fall over all over the floor, but because you're such an alcoholic, you're able to drive a car, brush your teeth, still go to work completely hammered because you're a functioning alcoholic. You're a functioning like an anxiety person. You had anxiety for for such a long part of your life that you just accepted it as the norm in a way, and you're able to function with it. Where like you said, you're like, do I sound anxious? No, you don't sound anxious at all. But your heart rate and
you actually have a point. You have a point about that.
But that's what it sounds like to me. Look, it sounds like you're
I just googled it, and it's like, wow, you may not necessarily overcome anxiety. You can find ways to accept and work with it. In fact, you may even be able to find ways.
But that's what I'm saying. Just
anxiety can be more powerful. Here,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though like you might not, you don't sound anxious, but the stuff that you're saying and your heart rate is telling me else. You know what I mean? The stuff you're saying sounds like anxious topics, anxious thoughts, but your voice, no, it sounds very calm actually. It sounds like you're calm, but your actions don't sound calm. So I think like you learn to.
I'm sitting down right now.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You probably you had it, you had this anxiety shit for so long that you just learned to like live with it, and you were able to deal with certain parts of that anxiety, but other parts nobody can deal with it, like the just being anxious, But like there's certain like stuff like being more calm, sounding more calm at least, and not panicking, not having like a full panic attack. You know what I mean? The fuck is that? Somebody's honking?
What?
You should scream at them. Bing bong, fuck your life.
Oh, dude, I get that all the time over here. I actually had someone that used to go with Chorne Glaza. I love that song. I fucking love that song. Actually, it's one of the things that I actually like about this place is hearing that song.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to get all my tests done and be told, hey, bro, you're being a hypochondriac by professionals. Mm-hmm. And like, last time I got an echogram, the guy didn't find fluid in my heart, which is a good thing. But now, with that EKG, I got fucking scared. So I have a lot to think about. I'm kind of stuck with what I got right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I went for a second or third opinion, really, with the cardiologist. Because the first one, he was kind of screwy. Second one was really good. Third one, is interesting because I've only been there once. But that fucking LVH thing kind of really screwed me up. So I went to the hospital. They did EKG. I don't even know the results, but they said it's normal. I wish I got the results so I could compare it with the other EKGs that I have, because it's good to compare.
Right, of course. Well, they should be doing it.
I have a borderline EKG, which means it's not normal, but it's not abnormal. Abnormal is no good. So, like, it's good to talk about health things because people need to know, like, go for your, we live in crazy times, but, like, in your 20s, go for a cardiac test. See if, like, see if you have something. I was supposed to go for a stress test, but my cardiologist says it's not necessary.
Right.
I just breathed in and got a little pain. I don't know why. See, like, I got all these pains going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on with me. It's probably lack of sleep, probably something else. I don't fucking know anymore. I just want to, that's why I got the psychotherapist appointment tomorrow. Maybe they'll be like, listen, if you're really worried, you have, like,
So,
like,
hold on, here.
I'm ready to,
Here's a
I'm
good,
probably gonna
here's,
get
sorry, go ahead.
I'm probably gonna get kicked off my insurance because of what I've been doing. I wouldn't be doing this if something never happened. But, like, you don't want to wait too long. Like I said, people have died 3 months into this without knowing it. That's the problem. Like, athletes, even before this whole thing with the jab, even before that, athletes would have cardiac issues and would not even know about it because it would probably be from birth.
Well, but look at it. Also, let's look at it this way. Like you said, if you know what I mean, if you're young, whatever, get your test done, but don't let this fucking preoccupy your entire life. You know what I mean? All right, look. So here's some symptoms of being a hypochondriac. Really quick, let me just read them off. Being preoccupied, and let me know if you have any of these. Being preoccupied with having or getting a serious illness or a health condition.
Yes.
I say no, because I'm not worried about it. If it happens, it happens. 2, worrying that minor symptoms or body sensations mean that you have a serious illness. I say no. What do you say?
What did you say?
Worrying that minor symptoms or body sensations means that you have a serious illness.
Yeah.
I say no.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead, sorry.
Here's the thing. Acute myocarditis, people don't even know they have it. And it can clear up on its own or it can get worse. And, like, a lot of these cardiac issues, people don't even know.
Question 3.
Talk to you later. Пожалуйста, I'll take it down.
Что, думаешь, тебя жалеть будут?
Mom, пожалуйста.
Пожалуйста. Тебя просят, пожалуйста. Хуйней, блядь, занимаешься.
Well, I'm looking for support and people don't understand.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Question 3. Being easily alarmed by your health status.
Yes, I have that.
4. Finding little or no reassurance from a doctor's visit or negative test results. Oh my God, that's so fucking you. That's so you, dude. You're such a this is hypochondriac. You have, hold on. We're just we're 4 of the fucking things in. This is so you. Finding little or no reassurance from the doctor's visits or negative test result. This is so you. This is exactly you, because this is so you, because you get like one test and I'm like, no, that's it, it's fine. You're like, nope, because something else. This is so you with this one. I'm not even gonna ask. Hold on, I'm not even gonna ask.
At one point, do you remember we did a podcast where you asked me, "Oh, we can rule out myocarditis"?
Right.
I gotta take that shit down.
Here's another one.
So, like, yeah.
Next one, you ready? Worrying excessively about a specific medical condition or your own risk of developing a medical condition because it runs in your family.
Yes.
Having so much distress about a possible illness that it's hard for you to function. Yes, that's a yes for you. Repeatedly checking your body for signs of illness or disease. Dude, you have a fucking heart rate monitor that just keeps going off every few fucking minutes. That's a yes.
Yeah.
Second one, frequently making medical appointments for I'm not even gonna, for reassurance. That's yes. Dude, we're not even done. There's 3 questions left. You checked off on hypochondriac every single fucking every single one. Another one, avoiding people, places, or activities for fear of health risk. This is so you. Hold on. The other one, constantly talking about your health and possible illness. Yes. Last one, frequently searching the internet for causes of symptoms. Yes. This was the definition of hypochondriac. Every simple symptom, you are the fucking, like, this is the definition of you. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There was 11 things. Every single one that was you. I'm sending you that link. I'm sending you the fucking link.
I just got in trouble for some bullshit.
Dude, did you just hear me? This is the hypochondriac stuff.
Yeah, I did. I heard
Dude,
everything you said.
every single one, dude. It's yes, there can be some, but when it impedes with your way of life, that's when it's fucking with you.
Oh,
Apollo.
fucking.
Apollo.
Yeah, I mean,
This is fucked up. We gotta fix this. You don't need this shit in your life.
I'm trying to get the help.
Like I said,
Like
before you place the fucking test, first reach out to a therapist, a psychiatrist, whatever, and before you get a blood test done, before you get your next blood test, get this done first, because it seems like
I don't think I'll be going for a blood test for a little while.
good.
Because like I'm running out of options here. Because listen, I just went to a hematologist. They study blood. It was not my decision. It was a relative's decision. He set up the appointment because he wanted to know everything about my blood.
Right.
My levels were elevated. My platelet levels are a little concerning for me. I'll be honest.
But they went down.
Slightly.
That's good.
Yeah, I know.
And they slightly went up, and they slightly went up before. Which made you very concerned when they went up. So why wouldn't they calm you down if they went down? Because before they were at 380, they went up to 415, and now they're back at 380, right? So they went back down. So now you should be more calm. Even though 350 is 450 is like the highest, and you're not at the highest level where you should be getting medical help.
Like, unfortunately, I didn't know my baselines. I should have went to the doctor.
Well,
And
when was the last time you got a blood test done? A long time ago?
Before I got one at the cardiologist PCP, but like he didn't do all the blood tests.
Right.
He did the cardiac one, and he did he was a pretty fucking horrible PCP, because for a while he made me think I had Hep B because I had the vaccine and I popped up positive for Hep B antibodies, and then without knowing that, he could have ran another blood test that checks for it. He fucking made me think that I had Hep B, and I wasted money going to a fucking gastroenterologist. And then he calls me up, hey, I heard about the results, you want to come in? Like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's horrible.
I
can't imagine your anxiety when he must have fucking said something like that.
I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I should come in, but nah, and I'm going to end up fucking wasting more money on this guy. He just fucking milked me for so much money. That's all he fucking cared about. He was picking up on me, and then all of a sudden he stopped picking up on me. Like, dude, not a good doctor. If I was gonna rate him, I would rate him a fucking 1, for putting me through that anxiety, because he's like, hey, we can run an extra blood test. Because, like, he asked me about my immunization status, and I said, I don't know. You know, I don't know which immunization status I have. So wouldn't that mean, like, hey, check off some extra stuff? You know? Like, you know, I felt lied to.
No, that's not.
And like, you know, I looked him up afterwards, and I found that he actually had a lawsuit for insurance fraud that they acquitted him on. But in my opinion, I feel like he's guilty.
Right.
But, like, insurance fraud, I don't give a shit about, you know? But still, you know, when you're
Whoa,
dealing with people's medical...
hold on a second. I just found something. Can vitamin D deficiency cause a high platelet count? Increased platelet counts were... Yeah, exactly. Dude, Apollo, I was telling you this. I said, dude, you have to start going for 20-minute walks outside in the sunshine instead of being cooped up. Dude, that's a big thing. Your vitamin D levels probably are like at 0.
Well, I don't know what they're at. We're going to find out.
Dude, mine, I go outside and I even take the droplets, and mine were at the lowest of the normal. Like on normal, where you have the normal D, it was like at the lowest of the normal.
That's not good if you get COVID.
Yeah.
Wait a second, they say.
That's what I'm saying. And I was taking, like, not even just the regular tablets of the vitamin D. I was taking multivitamin. I take one multivitamin of everything, and then I was taking the droplets, liquid droplets of vitamin D, and going outside. And still, mine was like the lowest that it was possible on normal.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And for you, you must be like at like... I can't even imagine if you're not going outside at all. You must be at like freaking 0. And vitamin D is important for a lot of stuff. Let me pull it up. What's vitamin D important for? You gotta start doing 20-minute walks. You gotta do.
I will.
Listen.
I want to get better. I have that appointment with the doctor.
Yeah.
You know, that psychotherapist. I gotta set up a dermatology appointment because there's a slight concern on my skin. But
what, like a cancer?
That's why you gotta. Well, I got some weird mole going on, so.
Oh yeah, just set that on.
I wanna, like, you know, I asked a hematologist. Hematology works very close with oncology, and you know, he recommended a doctor on the list, which I'm probably gonna call.
Well, has the mole grown in size? Has it changed shape in the last year?
Yeah, it gets bruised sometimes, so that's a little concerning. So I want him to look at a few things. You know, you know, it's the crazy thing. I was holding it off until after I graduated, but after I graduated, this whole COVID thing happened. Yeah. So.
But it's been getting bruised, but has it raised, has it moved, or just bruised? Has it increased in size, the mole?
I don't know, probably.
You don't know. Well, that's what. Well, I guess what they could do too is, if you want, they can take a biopsy. If you're super concerned about them, make sure when you go there, because I had this happen. I went to a dermatologist too, and I was asking him. I was concerned about certain of them, and he's like, no, it's fine. What you should do, just go there, go like, no, I'm really concerned about this one. Just fuck it. If you're really that concerned, dude, just tell them, lie to them straight up. Go to them. If you're that scared, just go like, no, yeah, it increased. Cut it, biopsy it, and don't take no for an answer. Go like, no, cut it increased. I'm telling you, it increased in size. Cut it, biopsy it, whatever. They'll freeze it and cut it. Don't say, oh, I don't know, I think so, because then he might take a look at it and go like, all right, it's not raised and it doesn't meet the criteria, and then that's going to leave doubt in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go in there, and when he asks you, go right away. Go like, just point at the fucking mole. Go like, dude, this thing increased in size like crazy. Cut it, biopsy it, and then after a week or 2 weeks, whatever it takes, After they caught it, they're gonna send it to the labs for the test, and they'll tell you. They're like, no, it was not cancerous or whatever. So you'll get you know. So vitamin D is a nutrient your body needs for building, maintaining healthy bones. That's because blah blah blah. Building bones. It's not found in natural food. What else? Let's see. Let's see. What else? Many older adults don't get regular exposure to sunlight and have trouble absorbing vitamin D.
Especially when you're up north, that's a huge problem. I should have been spending more outside time with my
I've been telling
family.
you, dude. Dude, I've been telling you, you're in goddamn Florida, dude. What are you kidding me? And look, if you're not concerned about COVID, wear like a fucking face shield or a mask and go outside when there's like at 10 a.m. when the sun's out, but there's not a lot of people, and walk around the block 4 or 5 times, and then come back inside, take the mask off, take a shower, but at least you'll get that like 20, 30 minutes of walking, which is good for you, and the sunlight. You really need it. Or go to the beach. You're close to the beach, aren't you? How close to the beach are you?
Very close.
Dude, can't you go to the beach and sit somewhere where nobody's gonna sit next to you and just get a little bit of sunlight?
Of course.
Evidence. This is .org. Mayo Clinic. Cancer. Findings on the benefits of vitamin D for cancer prevention are mixed. More studies are needed. Okay. Cognitive health. Research shows that low levels of vitamin D in the blood are associated with cognitive decline. However, more studies are needed to determine. Let's see. Bone disorder. Vitamin D supplements can be used to treat inherited disorders. Blah blah blah.
Ow.
Best part is to get it from the sun.
Yeah, it is. Supplements are okay, but I heard that a lot of supplements are actually carcinogenic.
I never heard that.
Look it up. You know, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
Like, them out. What are you talking about? You talking about the water soluble ones? You just peed them out.
No, it's just that I think it's the capsules or something. I don't know what it is. But like, you know, I've been hearing from a friend that like, you know, you got to get the natural vitamins because like a lot of these companies, they put it in these capsules and the capsules are probably, or whatever it is.
Cohort studies provide little evidence that vitamin supplements are associated with cancer.
You see it, right?
No.
I was actually.
No.
I was actually told about
no,
that.
they're
How about
saying
this
it
one?
doesn't. There's little evidence. Saying little evidence. This is .org pubmed.gov.
Right. You know,
Little
like
evidence, little evidence, we're inconclusive. There's nothing.
You know that vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin.
I'm sorry?
Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin.
Yes, so is vitamin A and E. C, you pee it out.
Yep.
Vitamin C, you pee it out. That's why if you take too much C, you pee it out. The other ones are fat soluble.
Here's the thing. All these different vitamins, a lot of them could have an effect on your platelet count. Like vitamin C aggregates platelets. So I'm kind of forced to not take it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I get really sick, you know, then I'll be like, fuck it. What can I do?
There's nothing you can do. You just gotta keep. Look. There's nothing you can do. You just gotta keep getting your blood work done.
Well, I mean, listen, you know.
And get your yearly test done. Get your blood work. Get your yearly test. And if something shows up, and if you have listen, if you have family history of anything, make sure you mention it so you get it done yearly. Not yearly, but for example, like let's say you have like in your family, let's say if your dad had like or your mom, your dad had something with the prostate or something in the colon, some sort of cancer. So instead of getting your screenings done at 40, you tell them, go like, no, my fucking family all had fucking colon cancer, prostate cancer, blah blah blah. So instead, you start getting your shit checked at fucking, instead of 40, 25, and you get it checked every year as opposed to whatever.
Yeah, you're right. But like, honestly, I
That's
think
why it
like a
sucks.
lot
Look,
of
look,
people.
look, look. You don't think I wish, dude? I went to my doctor, and like I said, when I had my test done, I was asking. I was like, oh, I'm like, are there any tests that I can take that's gonna show me any precancerous things for a bunch of other shit? And he started laughing at me. He's like, nah, nothing. And I'm like, the fuck do you mean? He's like, well, basically, it's just like if you get lucky. He's like, you just have to get lucky. He said the precancerous test that they have in California, that test for certain cancers, he's like, that's only for like that's for a certain few cancers only. And that's after you developed it. There's like basically nothing right now that
He does have a point. He does have a point, but cancers may not show any symptoms. So I would be like, listen, I just want to check because I know that cancers may not show any symptoms.
But the thing is, what he's saying, but what he's saying too is like, the insurance won't cover it. So also it sucks, and it sucks so much because
that's why we need that socialized healthcare. Even though it would raise a lot of taxes, but like at the end of it, people would be able to live better, and that's what's really important.
Even though it's covered. But look, just because it's covered, that doesn't mean that your doctor is gonna. Okay, so let's say you have socialized healthcare. That doesn't mean that if you go to a doctor, they're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna pre-screen you for these different cancers. They're like, no, we're gonna pre-screen you if you have family history, and if you don't, we're not gonna do it. So,
right.
unless
But
you
you know what?
Up, I guess.
I keep hearing that with these things, it's about early detection, and that's what I would be like. I'd be like, listen, I know I don't have family history, but I just want to make sure. And what's the worst that's gonna happen?
They're gonna not approve you. They're gonna say no.
No, I'm saying you tell him what's the worst that's gonna happen.
You'll get cancer.
Like
they won't. You get cancer.
Right, but like if you get stage 1 and it grows like in an easy spot to get rid of, then you just beat cancer. Unless it grows in a spot where you can't get rid of, because it also depends where it grows. Like certain cancers, if it grows towards a certain place, it's easy to metastasize or whatever.
Right.
And you can be screwed that way. It could go from stage 1 to like stage 4 real quick or something. I don't know. I'm not an oncologist. Wow. I'm like really turning into a fucking doctor of my own, bro.
Pretty much.
But like, I'm gonna go for that MRI, but I'm gonna change it without contrast. Hopefully they'll understand.
Right.
And they'll allow it, because a lot of places, like, there's one place that's like, oh, we don't do that. You gotta do with and without. Like, what the fuck, why? Why can't I do it without? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, it's important to get early screening. Like, it even says in articles you should get early screening. But here's the thing, blood work by itself will not, like, he's right, it won't detect everything. That's why you gotta go to different doctors. Mm-hmm. And it even says, like, go to a skin doctor, because they can help pre-screen you for that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, I was at a hematologist office. That's a lot of people that go there have, like, blood issues or cancer even. So they're actually very closely associated with oncology. When I showed the doctor my thing, and he's like, he's like, you got to go to the doctor for that, which is understandable because he's not in that field. You know, so it's very important to get like pre-screening for things because it could help save your life. Because even if you don't, like, you know, I've been reading that, you know, there's a lot of like cancerous things going on. It's also important, like starting in your 30s or 40s, you got to get colonoscopies done. And a lot of people hate that, but like, you don't understand that's important to go through. I've actually had a couple done myself because of my C. diff infection a few years back, and you know, getting it done was a good thing because, you know, I could have had a crazy disease, but who knows, you know, like I almost got diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder.
Why?
So.
What do you mean you almost got? How?
Well, because I had lesions and I have family history.
Oh.
And then I went for another one and it was gone, so they didn't want to diagnose me. So I'm like, okay, fine, I won't think about it again. And they haven't, but like, you know, thinking about it, like, maybe, you know, in a little while I should check again. Mm-hmm. But like, you know what? Like, I used to like going under, but now I developed such a phobia that I don't want to go under.
Because you might not wake up?
Yeah. So I don't like that. So I'd rather just, I'll deal with it like another way. I'll tell them to give me pain meds or something. Mm-hmm. But if they have to go through the throat, you got to go under. Which, you know, I find that ridiculous. I'll be like, just give me all the fucking pain meds because I don't want to go under for shit.
No, that makes sense.
If I don't have to go under, I don't want to go under.
Yeah, especially you don't know if you're going to wake up from it, man. You know?
Yes. Sleep phobia really set in for me. Yeah. Because, like, what happened one night is I had a panic attack. In my sleep, I couldn't breathe. It woke me up. And, like, I was walking around for, like, an hour until I could finally catch my breath and go back to sleep. And that kind of fucked me up. It really did. You know, this is kind of like therapy for me. Yeah. I really hope it's all in my head. I really do.
It is. You think? I think, dude, honestly, I think it all is. Honestly, you're asking me, I think 100% is. Dude, I just read to you before. We've read the hypochondriac.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm in the.
But the thing is, you should be happy about it. Instead of being upset, you should be happy because then that means it's something that is actually not fucking, you know, not deadly. It's something that's in your head. Instead, you should be celebrating it because what you think is going on in your shit is basically your life is over. You might die. Where in reality, it's something that's treatable and it's just anxiety. So it's something that you should be, instead of fucking jumping up and down and celebrating, you should be jumping up and down and being like, this is awesome. It's actually not.
If you were an NP, I would. At one point, you know, I felt like I was done with my myocarditis. Remember when I called in and said, I'm ruling it out, just to come back and be like, ruling it back in.
Yeah, I do. I remember. Hell yeah, of course I remember.
Yeah, because, like, what happened was I had blunt trauma to the chest, which can recur anything. And, like, I don't know. My troponin level, when I first took it, which was before the blunt force trauma, was 0.012, which means that there were proteins, I guess, for the heart, which is not good because I don't want 0.012. I want it 0.
But there is no zero. No, but hold on, there is no 0. We went through this. If you remember, I read the levels.
Actually, the reference range is actually 0 to 0.04.
I forgot what you had, but whatever you had back when I read it was you didn't have anything dangerous. You weren't in
Right.
the danger zone. Whatever you had when I asked you and I pulled it up, we spoke about it. I forgot the numbers, but it was you were in the clear, dude. And you said it was just because you said I want it at 0, and I'm like, dude, they're saying that even above 0, that this level is still like there's nothing wrong.
It's in the reference range, which is good. But like, I have family history of heart disease, so it's definitely something to watch out for. That's why I need to find someone to live with, so that way, I have someone to look out for me, and I would look out for them too.
Right. You get
Because
that
that's
fucking aspirin ready for them. Pop that shit. Pop that sucker right in their mouth in case their shit goes off.
exactly. Because
They got
that's what
they
it
got
comes.
you. You got them. You got the fucking bottle with the fucking top screwed off with them.
Yep. And I'll be like, figure out everything over the counter that you could do for like emergency situations.
What you could do is you can have that shit crushed up in a syringe without the fucking without the actual syringe needle on. So you could just squirt that shit in their mouth. If you crush, you know what I mean? Like the fat cap.
Yeah. Yeah, but you gotta pray that like they fucking are able to digest it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's a lot better than putting the pill in. Like, you can just have an empty syringe with the shit crushed up powder, and then you just shoot it in. That's it, boom.
Or
And
keep it in the cap with the crushed up.
keep it in the cap with crushed up, or that, too.
Oh man.
Dude, you're gonna be fine. I know it. We know it. The guests know it. Everybody knows it. Worrying about nothing, man.
Yeah.
It's probably all in your head, man.
Listen, like I said, I hope you're right, but I want to make sure.
Yeah. But while you do that, also get a psychiatrist.
Well, psychologist. I'm trying to get off of pills. Maybe later on I'll get on antidepressants. I don't know.
Right.
Or like I don't want no sleep meds. I don't want nothing.
Nothing. It's a good way to go about
Just
it.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I didn't lose my old doc. I would have probably been good.
Ah, dude, it is what it is. Look, yo, I'm sure. Look, you might find a good new doctor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to a psychotherapist first. I'm still tapering my my other pill.
Right.
So, you'd think, oh, he's gonna have higher anxiety, maybe, but I'm controlling it. I'm actually able to do it better now, but.
Well, that's what I've been fucking saying. That yeah, it's like you've just been able to control it. You're like other people just can't deal with it. You've had it for so long. You've incorporated in your life, and there's certain parts of your life where you're able to. You had it for so long. Yeah.
Are we getting any views? Probably nobody. Crickets.
No, I think we're going. We got a lot of people. Let me see. Pull it up. See if I can pull it up real quick.
So, like,
Yeah. 7 people.
so
7 people. 7 humans.
I'm still worried about that aortic stenosis because of that EKG.
Yeah.
If that EKG came normal, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
The fuck was
I
that?
have
Who keeps honking over there?
I live in a complex apartment system.
So they
So
just
people-
keep there. They park and then they put the alarm thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, people are constantly driving by all times of night and day.
How nice is it though? But how nice is it being in Florida on that balcony? Must be cozy as shit.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god, I bet that fucking fresh air. And it's nice and warm too there, right? Now, how low does it get?
It depends. It can get pretty cold. Like when we had the cyclone bomb from the East Coast, when it was cold there, it got cold here too.
But what about now? Like, how
But
low does it get? Like 55 right now?
tonight, right now it's 76.
This is the low?
75 is the low for
Holy
tonight.
shit, that's amazing. So you can sleep outside in like your t-shirt and shorts.
Oh yeah, I love it for that.
Oh my god, that's
The boat
amazing.
week is on Sunday, which is 56.
Jesus.
So it's probably gonna be even colder for you guys on Sunday.
Right. Dude, that's amazing. 75 right now.
Which is gonna suck because whenever it's cold, it negatively impacts my sleep. Because I love sleeping on the boat, but. So, back on myocarditis, right? Because I know we're talking about, like, my hypochondria.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, there's no understanding. So, myocarditis, pericarditis, endocarditis. There's 3 of them. Endocarditis is usually caused by an infection, but, like, still, you know, I had something go down. Well, I didn't have, but I know someone. Endocarditis, their life, but older person.
Right.
So, like, you know, pericarditis is on the outside layer. It's probably the most easier one to find, but still, I'll tell you something. Like, the jab took out an athlete, pericarditis after the jab. No more for them. They lost their ability to be an athlete again. Olympic athlete.
Right.
Because, you know, they take them, because past a certain age for them, they're done. It's not like NHL or NFL, you know. Depending on the Olympics, every 2 to 4 years, you know, they're always looking for the younger people. And, like, you know, those are the people that really, really need to do the fucking, have a fucking cardiologist. Just, you know, FYI, because they have been dropping even before COVID, just a lot more after the COVID thing because of the myopericarditis. So about pericarditis. Pericarditis is a condition that affects the pericardium, a thin membrane that surrounds your heart. When pericarditis develops, this can cause the heart's tissue to become swollen and inflamed, forcing the layers to rub against each other. This can lead to debilitating symptoms that can impact your daily life. There are many types of pericarditis, ranging from acute to chronic, and the signs may differ for each patient, which means nobody knows how it's going to affect them. Myocarditis Foundation is here to raise awareness about these causes, symptoms, diagnoses, and treatment of pericarditis, and support research efforts that work towards a cure. Causes and symptoms. Although the exact cause of pericarditis can be unknown, most known cases arise due to underlying diseases, including viral infection, heart trauma, systemic inflammatory disorders, certain medications, complications from a heart attack or surgery. Because pericarditis creates inflammation in surrounding heart tissue, the consistent rubbing of the layers can cause a variety of symptoms to occur similar to symptoms of a heart attack. The most common sign of pericarditis is sharp chest pains. These pains can worsen if you sit, inhale deeply, or cough, and leaning forward can work to alleviate discomfort. Depending on the type of pericarditis you have, chest discomfort can either subside quickly or develop slowly and worsen over a long period of time. Some additional symptoms can include low-grade fever, muscle weakness, heart palpitations.
You had none of these.
Diagnosing it. To diagnose pericarditis, doctors will use imaging techniques such as X-ray, echocardiograms, pericarditis effusion, or MRIs for a detailed look at the heart. They also check for biomarkers for signs of inflammation. According to the European Society of Cardiology, the following criteria would indicate the presence of pericarditis: pericardial chest pain, pericardial rubbing sounds, widespread ST segment elevation or PR segment depression. That's probably from an EKG.
Right.
Pericardial effusion. Depending on your symptoms and how often your chest pain occurs, there are many kinds of pericarditis you can be diagnosed with. Acute pericarditis, recurrent pericarditis, incessant pericarditis, chronic constrictive pericarditis, idiopathic pericarditis, acute fibrinous pericarditis, chronic effusive pericarditis. Symptoms of any form of pericarditis can last for a few days or weeks. They can also recur often and, in some cases, even persist for more than 3 months. Pericarditis treatment. After receiving your pericarditis diagnosis, it's important to get the treatment you need as soon as possible. While acute pericarditis can go away on its own, chronic cases can lead to additional complications in the future. For example, cardiac tamponade is a heart disease that stems from chronic pericarditis. This condition forces fluid to build up in the pericardium and prevents the heart from properly working. Currently, there is one FDA-approved treatment for pericarditis. Please talk to your doctor about this option. However, patients can control most symptoms through over-the-counter medications working to reduce inflammations and minimize pain, probably NSAIDs. If an underlying illness or disease is causing your pericarditis, your doctor will prescribe medications to resolve it. Before taking any medication, consult your doctor to ensure they are safe to use alongside additional prescriptions. Doing so will help prevent other complications from arising. If chronic pericarditis cases worsen or develop into other heart conditions, patients may need surgery. The procedure involves draining excess fluids from the heart through a catheter to relieve pressure. For more information about pericarditis, Myocarditis Foundation offers additional resources including Pericarditis by Cleveland Clinic, Pericarditis by Mayo Clinic, study to assess the efficacy and safety of treatments in participants with recurrent pericarditis, FDA-approved therapy for recurrent pericarditis, anti-interleukin-1 agents for pericarditis, a primer for cardiologists, a new way to care for patients with pericardial disease. For more information about pericarditis, myocarditis, and other heart conditions, contact us today, okay? But let me tell you something. Myocarditis has been known for hundreds of years, but they've only really been studying it from like 2015. Wait, 2015 was it? Let me see when this is foundation. Because I think it's either 2015 or 2015. As the third leading cause of sudden death is myocarditis. As the third leading cause of sudden death in children and young adults, myocarditis is a disease that is more than worthy of attention. However, many people, including healthcare professionals, are unfamiliar with it, which is what scares me when they say healthcare professionals are unfamiliar with it. Who are they talking about?
I understand that it's something. I understand it's something new, and who the fuck knows? But look at what's happening in Ukraine. That's scary. Thank God they're winning. Or defending. I wouldn't say they're winning. I would say they're defending.
Honestly, it would be a thank God moment if a ceasefire can be reached.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Somebody said it funny. They said Russia, after 3 months of no Facebook, TikTok, McDonald's, Coke, and porn, because everything is banned, it shows like a picture of Russia in like this fucking crazy utopia because of everything that they got banned. That's gonna lead to like a healthier. It's like as a joke.
It's really bad in Russia. There's so much inflation that I'm pretty sure people are pissed at Putin.
I don't know. I think they're pissed at America. They're so brainwashed, bro.
He is a very smart leader. I'm not gonna say he's a good leader. I'm gonna say he's a smart leader for the most part. But I think he made a huge miscalculation with this, and he actually might pay a huge price.
I hope so. I hope so.
I don't wish death on anyone because I'm not that type of person anymore. You know, I hope he has a change of heart, and
I do too. I don't see it. I don't see it. That'll never happen. He can't quit now. If he fucking quits now, you know.
Well, I mean,
if he quits now, he's gonna.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors with these people.
That's true.
they could reach an agreement without you even knowing it, and the next day, oh, war's done. But I will say this: war crime.
So look, Ukraine is open to Russia's neutrality demand, but they won't yield any territory, they're saying. So they're saying they're fine with the ceasefire, but they're not giving up Donbass region or anything like that. They're saying just get the fuck out of there, and they're fine with that.
Yeah.
But Russia is saying what Russia's latest demands have been: give us the Donbass region and promise that you won't join NATO and we'll leave. And they're like, fuck you, we're not giving you an inch. So it's the ceasefire hasn't been working because they're not reaching agreements.
Well, that's how deals are negotiated. Two sides, right? They both want something, and they can come to a compromise.
Yeah, well, it's fucked. No, but it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
For example, don't take our territory, and we won't join NATO.
Fuck them. They go fuck themselves. They already took Crimea, and now they're gonna take the Donbass region. Go fuck yourself. No, fucking take your Russian people and get the fuck out of there. This is Ukraine, cocksucker. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if those people really wanted to be Russians, they should have just moved to Russia.
Dude, do you know that? Do you know why there's so many Russians in that region? Is because that region was for fucking mining. It was mining towns.
Look.
They were mining towns, so a bunch of poor Russians came to the Donbass region to mine there.
No. Actually,
yeah, that's what I heard.
That region, my mom is from that region. She actually lived in the center of that region. And, she lived in the center.
Oh, look, Zelensky thinks Putin will soon negotiate to end the war.
I think negotiate. I don't know if he'll negotiate, but it's an open possibility.
I think, dude, he's losing so bad. I hope so, but fuck that asshole. Goddamn fucking piece of shit. Putin.
Remember when they invaded Georgia, and all the Georgians were.
Yeah.
You see, like Putin, he's a calculated man, but who knows what 2 years of coronavirus did to him. Because I don't think, he said he got vaccinated, but he never actually showed that he got vaccinated. And even then, if a person shows that you don't know what's in that vial, it could just be saline. Cytopenia. That's what you got.
China has refused to supply Russian airlines with aircraft parts. Nice. Good.
Well, that's because if China got involved, they would be hit too. Yeah. So they're also being calculated. But you have a lot, you see, everybody's talking about Ukraine, right?
Yep.
Showing their support.
Hell yeah.
And that's good, because people shouldn't die. Not Russians, not Ukrainians. But, nobody's looking at the whole situation in Xinjiang with the Uyghurs, which is a terrible situation.
Oh, yeah. Horrible.
And because we have to deal with China. And China's very strong. They're so strong that they make American celebrities bend to their will. American companies bend to their will. Yeah. And not that that just shows how strong they are, because not a lot of countries can do that.
Jesus.
So, it's very sad.
I mean, we'll figure out. Listen, in the coming days, I'll keep updating people on what's going on and everything. And the same thing with you, dude. Stay in touch.
Did you hear about?
you
Did
know?
you hear about the Pfizer documents leaking? Not leaking, but coming out.
No.
That's another. That's another thing with these Pfizer documents coming out. And by the way, it's getting hard to find them for some reason, even though they're coming out. So that shows that there's being a mass cover up on a huge scale. People lost children, family members, people have died. And like, you know, I had to explain to someone on a forum, like, hey, you know, I'm not anti-vax. I think it works for some, but not for everyone.
Right. You're not anti-vax,
Because,
but you love the information.
but like, yeah, it's very important to get the information, especially before you do something stupid. But like, you know, like I said, I was talking to a kid that's 22 years old with pericarditis, and like, you know, it looks like his shit is going into. They're asking him to do an MRI with contrast, and he's scared as balls because just like I am looking at the dangers of it, he is looking at the dangers of it. Because with gadolinium deposition disease, there's no cure, there's no treatment, and it does a number on your kidneys, and it stays all over your system. It's a rare earth metal. They use chelation, whatever the fuck that is, to kind of help with that. But like, you know, depending on where it goes, like, it's just really horrible. Yeah. Honestly, like, you want to hear something crazy? Sure. I know people that, like, here's how much of a roulette. Here's how much of a roulette wheel this is. Omicron's supposed to be mild, right?
Yeah.
I know someone that got Pfizer vaxxed a few months before catching COVID, was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Then I know somebody who wasn't vaxxed, didn't go to the hospital, had it for a few days, took ivermectin. Has long COVID. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything. I know people. I've heard of stories of some people using ivermectin and not being successful today. Everyone's body is different. I don't know if this vaccine works or not. I don't know if it saved my friend or not. And like, you know, I'm not gonna. I don't want to get people upset because, like I said, I was speaking on a forum. A nurse started talking to me because he saw I was on a benzo withdrawal forum, and like I was trying to help someone with benzo withdrawal, and this nurse came on and started like kind of attacking me, and I'm like, you know, I see you on anti-vax forums, and I'm like, how do you know like I'm not vaccinated? You know, how do you know? Just because I'm on those forums, you know? And I told him, I'm like, listen, you know, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't, and he starts going off on his friends who committed suicide. Nurses that committed suicide because of the pandemic, and I'm like, you know, I'm sorry that this happened. It's not an easy decision, you know, and like, you know, I apologize. I really meant what I said, you know, and you know, I was really sorry for him. Like, he just, you know, left. He just deleted his comments and left. I'm like, okay, you know, and like, you know, that's why like you got to do your research because like, okay, so he saw people. He saw people with COVID, you know, dying from COVID, unvaccinated, right? Yeah. But, like, not putting into account the number of people that died in their house or on the streets from, like, rare side effects, adverse reactions.
Right.
It seems to me like it's happening to people that are physically fit, but I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things we don't know about this technology. Dr. Malone, who was on Rogan, you know, I seemed a little skeptical of him because he said he was fully vaccinated. And, like, you know, then he starts talking against the vaccine. But maybe he had a point. Maybe, like, he's at an age where, you know, he doesn't really care about the long-term effects because he's already old, you know, and... Like, you know, he could take the risks. Whereas someone young, you know, it might be life-altering. But, like, you know, when it comes to these new diseases, right, when the body does not recognize a disease, for some people, like when you had the pandemic of 1918, what happened was a lot of people had that swine flu, and because the body did not recognize it, the body went into overdrive, started attacking everything. Yeah. It's called a cytokine storm. It's called a cytokine storm. That's why young people die from it, because the body goes into overdrive and starts attacking its own system.
Right, I'm listening.
So, like, here in Jackson Laboratory website, cytokine storm studies, a rapid, reproducible, and highly flexible platform to more accurately evaluate systemation of cytokine release associated with novel human-targeted. Novel meaning specific immunomodulatory drugs. It can be used to quickly and accurately select leads based on efficacy as well as toxicity caused by release. I'm pretty sure if they with these mRNA vaccines, if they actually lowered the amount that they're using, because they're probably using a lot of vaccine, if they actually lowered it, a lot more and spaced out the shots, people probably would not be getting as many adverse reactions. I think it was rolled out too quickly, and they really just packed a punch on the fucking body. Because I'm pretty sure I don't know too much about cytokine storms. Maybe get it from a vaccine because it's a foreign body being injected into you. So if they want to make future vaccines that has a better efficacy rate, maybe they should lower the dose of the vaccine and spread it out a little bit more. Because, you're supposed that the CDC has the CDC has come out with the idea that spacing out the vaccine not only lowers side effect risk, but gives you a stronger immune response. Now, why the fuck did they do that? Why the fuck did they wait till now to release that?
They don't want to scare people, maybe.
Right, because, and on top of that, they wanted more people to take the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, it's under emergency use, right? If it's under emergency use, why would you mandate it?
Because they had the opportunity to do it, I guess, right?
But it's under emergency use, which means you should give people the option. Sometimes people make the wrong decisions. People want to live, nobody wants to die, but sometimes people make the wrong decisions.
Do you think it saved more people or it killed more people? I think it saved. It had to, dude. The chances of it, they posted the side effects. It's like 0.003. Like the
listen.
Mike Ryan was saying. Mike Ryan was telling you, Apollo. Mike Ryan was telling you with the side effects are so low, man. It's
Yeah, but you know what? If you look at the Pfizer documents, I'll send you a link.
He did. He did. Mike Ryan says he went through it and he said that the chances are extremely low. Did you look through them?
The link I sent?
No, I'm just saying in general, the one that you sent before, where Mike Ryan went through them, and he said the ones that I went to, it seems like it's very unlikely that you're gonna get adverse reactions from it. If you are gonna get something severe, he says you're more likely to get eaten by a shark than to get something bad that's gonna happen to you. That's what he's putting at. You're more likely to get eaten by a fucking shark if you swim in the ocean than to get
I'll tell you this.
Reaction. You're more likely to get eaten by a shark.
I know people that have taken the vaccine. I mean, no. Let me rephrase that. Actually, no, wait. I know people that have taken the vaccine, got sick with COVID, spent 2 weeks in the hospital. I know people that that taken the vaccine, got sick with COVID, and were sick for 5 days. I know people that didn't have the vaccine, got sick with COVID, and nothing. I know people that didn't take the vaccine I know someone that didn't take the vaccine. This was before the vaccines were available, and unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah.
Now,
How do you link
now
it?
you know.
How do you link it? That's the big I guess that's the big question. Can you link it? Can you not? What's going on?
That's the thing. When I went through the video that I showed you with this doctor, and, you know, when I went through the video, he when I went through the video, you know, they actually said that, like, you know, it's actually a higher rate of adverse reaction than they said it was, but than they said it was.
Right.
You know, so that's started to make me question. On top of that, like, there was such thing as anti-sperm antibodies. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I read that somewhere. Also, thrombosis, which was not listed as an adverse reaction to the vaccine. This is all coming out in the papers. Why would they not put that information out there unless they didn't want people to know? You know, let me ask you a question. In early January, Pfizer wanted 75 years to release those documents.
Yeah.
And by a judge's order, those documents are being released at a quicker rate.
Why?
Why is that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Why the fuck did that happen?
Oh.
That's just, you know, and like, it's all about the money, because if they release all that information, who the hell would want to take a vaccine then?
Right.
You know, and like, I actually spoke on a forum, somebody was on the fence on taking the vaccine. And I'm like, did you read the Pfizer document? He's like, yeah, it said Zika is one of the side effects. I'm like, I'm not an immunologist, I don't claim to know things, but like, if it's in the document, you know, like, I would be worried about that. No, there's also VAERS, VAERS. You can go on CDC website, download it, and like go through every vaccine since 1990 and all the adverse reactions that were reported. Mind you, some of the people, you know, some of it was self-reported by people. Others, it was medical people. Like, you know, some people actually, like, right as they got the vaccine, they fell to the ground and never got up. So, you know, that reporting is very important. Do you remember, like, honestly, the vaccine probably killed, like, it even says the vaccine killed over 1,000 people.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was clinical studies or real world, but, like, it killed a lot of people that they know of.
That's not a lot.
I have to watch the video again. Like I said, I sent it.
No. But what I'm saying is, like, because I'm assuming, like, at least, like, how many billions of people took the vaccine already?
A lot of people. But, like,
Yeah,
you know,
so
you don't know.
There you go. Boom. That's it.
But, like, you know, honestly, like, I'm starting to distrust a lot of things. If you look at studies, there are studies where, you know, scientists have injected, like, even in Staten Island, there was something called Willowbrook experiment, where scientists were injecting kids that had mental issues and that nobody was caring for, that they were in the school, and they were experimenting with them with the Hep B vaccine, and a lot of them died. They didn't have a choice.
It's true. Yeah, who knows what they're fucking they did to those poor kids.
So, you know.
Well, you gotta stay, dude. You gotta stay vigilant. You gotta, you know, get your test done and be careful. Other than that, I mean, you know, shit, people did a lot of fucked up shit back in the day. I don't think they're doing as much fucked up shit as they did back then.
You don't think, but you don't know.
This experiment was same, dude. I mean,
this experiment was even recent, like back in 1990 or something, or it lasted until 1990. Then you look at something like the Tuskegee experiment, where they took African Americans and they inject. This is why African Americans are very hesitant with the vaccine too. They took African Americans, injected them with syphilis, told them they were being vaccinated for I don't know what, I forget what. They told them they were being vaccinated for it, and just to like inject them with syphilis instead and study the effects.
Yeah,
Get a better understanding.
Black people love conspiracy theories too.
That's not a conspiracy. That actually happened.
No, I'm saying black people love conspiracy theories though.
Yeah, but a lot of people love conspiracy theories, not just them.
No, but I'm just saying in general, you would see they're very likely to lean. They love conspiracies. They're like very into it. You ever talk to like a black person about conspiracy theories? Dude, their eyes fucking light up and everything. They fucking love that shit.
I mean, you talk a lot about conspiracy theories too. No offense. I mean, everyone does to an extent.
No, dude. What the hell? I'm not. I'm saying that is. What the hell? I love conspiracies. I love conspiracy theories too. What I'm saying is they love it. They love it more. I feel like than like the average person. Like if you talk to them, they'll fucking get in deep in that shit.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Like if you go on Reddit, the vaccine memorial wall.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if I talked about, but I don't remember. But that wall, somebody passed away, and they Katie Meyer, captain of the Stanford soccer team, dead at 22. And somebody posted like, hey, she actually died from suicide.
I saw that one. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. She killed herself.
So it's like, they actually aren't trying to be false with their reporting. Some people misreport.
Yeah, they get gun. Some of them, dude. There's a lot of people that get gun hungry. You ever seen that movie? What was that one called? With the dude from Jarhead, who's the reporter on the streets, who's the first one to act as a reporter. What was it called? You know Jarhead? You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't really watched
it's
that. It's
called like Butterfly, not Butterfly. It's called like. Okay, so what happens is as soon as somebody dies, there's a fire, there's a 911 call. The first person who responds to it and reports about it will make the most money. That's what the movie was about.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that those dudes might jump the gun and they might get the false information before it actually comes out. You don't know what I'm talking about? I'll find out the movie if you don't know. I was waiting for you to tell me the name of it. But since you don't know it, let me put in Jarhead. What's his name? Jay Leno or something? There you go. No, Jake Gyllenhaal. And Nightcrawler. There you go. Nightcrawler. He's like the new career man, new cameraman, the scavenger. He records like all the new crimes that happens. He goes to it, gets the money shot, sells it. Did you see that movie? Please tell me you didn't see it, did you? I'm shocked right. You're not saying anything. You never saw it? It's amazing. Nightcrawler.
Donnie. So, vaccine long caller. Remember that one?
Hold on a second. Have you ever seen Nightcrawler or no?
No.
Oh my god, dude, you gotta watch it.
Check it out. The vaccine long hauler. These are people that are suffering from long-term from the vaccine.
What about COVID? Do you also look at long COVID as well?
Yeah, I do. So I am becoming more familiar with it. So gotta chill out with the sodium. No sodium anymore. But like the vaccine long hauler, we were looking at the wrong pages last time. But first 3 months, this is about the papers. Heart rate 79 today, 3.5 months post booster had been as high as 125. Where are you and how long since last jab? So this person's complaining about a high heart rate. Yeah. Heart rate is almost normal, 63, 67 resting, but still random skips. So people are going through a lot of things. And here's my friend who I spoke to. He did not reach back to me. I actually started following. He reached back to me like once, but like, you know, he's from Europe, so he might message me in the middle of the night. I don't know what to tell him, because with his situation, you know, like people are saying, you want to do the MRI with contrast, that's the golden standard, but it just wrecked body.
Dude, listen, you can't save everybody. Listen, you can't save everybody. Look, you gotta worry about yourself. Get that goddamn therapist.
Yeah, but like, listen. I can't save everybody. I know I'm trying to be good and trying to help people, because I don't, you know.
Right.
So like, yeah.
But look, you gotta worry about yourself first. You worry about yourself. You get yourself. Look, by you worrying, your main concern might be worrying. You might be doing yourself. You gotta worry about worrying less. You know what I'm saying? You're worrying so much, and now your worrying is leaking into other people. You gotta stop. We gotta get yourself in check. You gotta take care of your health. Take care of yourself first, and then worry about it. Look, first of all, you should be the most important person right now. You gotta take care of your health first. Make sure you're okay.
My name is Apollo Bentley.
What?
My name is Apollo Bentley.
Okay.
Remember that. Remember me. You know, if something happens to me, you can say all you want. I just don't want to end up on that wall.
Dude, Apollo, nobody thinks you're going to end up on it. You're the only one who thinks you're going to end up on it, dude. You're going to be fine. Apollo, my biggest eye-opener today was when I read the hypochondriac, the 11 signs and symptoms. You checked off every single one at 100%. So to me, that says the likelihood that something is actually wrong with you is probably a lot less. And the big thing is that you should be celebrating, as I said before, that it's probably mental, as opposed to something that's fucking, you know.
Let me ask you, do you monitor your heart rate when you exercise?
Hell no. Why? I'm not gonna die. Why the hell would I monitor? I don't care.
I mean, it's good to monitor it because it's healthy to monitor it when you exercise.
It's annoying for me. I don't care. I don't care about it. It's a waste of my time.
Because you know, here's the reason why. Because when you're at a certain age, you have to have a certain target health rate when you exercise. You don't want to go too hard on yourself.
Well, you see, I don't worry about that. I don't care. I know I'm healthy. I know I'm good. And if I'm completely wrong, if I was having heart pains, I would look. If you're asking me why I don't monitor, because when I'm exerting myself at my hardest, right, there's no pain and I feel great. If I was exerting myself at 100% and at my highest, I was starting to have heart pains, then I would go to a doctor. I would go to a doctor and they would ask what's wrong. I'm like, well, when I'm pushing myself at 100%, I'm starting to have heart pain. There's something happening. I don't know what it is. And then they might tell me, oh, it's just your muscle. We're going to run some tests. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not imagining, but they might be like, oh, it's just your muscle contracting really hard. But luckily, I don't have any of that. So why would I monitoring it? There is no point for me to monitor it, you know?
Right.
But if, like I said, but I would be willing to monitor it if there was a reason to monitor it. As like I said, if I'm pushing myself super hard and then, like I said, I'm having aches in my chest and I'm like, dude, what the hell? This is hurting. I would know. I'm like, this is not normal. I shouldn't have any pains. I would get a follow-up. So it's not like I'm just this like crazy guy where I'm like, if I die, I die. Hell no. I'm not stupid, but Also, I'm not on like this other end of like, yes, I should be like super vigilant about every single part because it's like I'll get my yearly tests and I'll try to get all my other tests that I'm eligible for. But I'm not gonna keep going to the doctor and bothering them like, oh, I think there's something wrong here and here.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not saying you should.
Right.
You know, when I was talking to you, right? I was talking about basically doing ups, right?
Yeah.
You don't have. You don't have to. You know, you don't have to do it excessively. But once in a while, hey, check yourself out. You know, you're getting to that age where you're getting older. You need you need a screen for certain.
Yeah.
You know, you might even need a colonoscopy. They are.
I've been trying to get that. They don't want to give it to me until I'm 40. I'm gonna try again next year. I'm gonna try again next year. I'm gonna tell them, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna lie to them. I'm like, yo, I got family history. I'm like, give me that colonoscopy. Cause that dude died early. That freaked me out. From Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even though I never watched that shit movie, but
Actually, I watched it. I watched the first one. I don't know if the second one came out. No, it didn't. I watched it. It was a good movie. You know, it was a good movie. It's sad what happened. It really is. You know.
The reason why I also just say it's a shit movie, because in general, I hate superhero movies. I just don't watch any of them. I can't stand them.
Right.
Marvel, like all of them, I
hate.
I hate all these. Like I just can't stand them. Like there's so many. There's too many. I hate them all.
Do you remember? Did you hear about the women who were having irregular periods after vaccination?
No. Oh, actually, no.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Yeah. So, you know, and on top of that, they say there's no long-term effects. They say you have longer-term effects from medicine, and they're right about that. Like, you know, because if you keep taking something into your body, I mean, your body generally gets used to it. But like, they came out with a study that, you know, certain drugs can cause certain things. And like, there was one that came out that said if you take this drug, you have like consistently for years, you have a higher chance of getting dementia.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's my son crying. I don't know if you heard him.
Yeah, I heard him.
Squealed a little bit. He's waking up.
So, you know. So, you know, like, we live in a crazy world during crazy times.
Crazy world during crazy times, baby. Look, you're gonna be fine, baby. Again. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine.
I have a lot to think about. I just want that clean bill of health so I can live and be responsible, get myself a girlfriend, and like, you know, live good.
And come back to talking about fucking Ukraine and other issues and get yourself back into a normal life. Going outside, going to the beach. You gotta
I'm never. After going through all this, I'm never ever gonna forget these people who passed away. There are people who died from COVID. There are people who died from this. There, you know, and I will never forget that. You know, I would start even. I get better. I might even support group for them. You know, because I do want to get better, and you know.
I know.
Like, yeah.
Yo, brother, we've been going for almost 3 hours overall. I think.
How's the viewership? I didn't ask for a while.
I think we got like 7 people, something like that. So it's good. It's good. We're working on it.
You know, like, I know I'm venting about my issues. We talked about, you know, the importance of getting screened early, and these doctors should definitely do it, you know, because, like, you know, heart disease is starting to affect younger people. We have broken heart syndrome for people who have issues, you know. Broken heart syndrome is a real thing. You know, it leads to heart attacks. Also cancer starting to affect younger. So, the health
Absolutely.
industry should take a look into that.
Zali, what do you think about that, man? I'm getting sleepy. I think it's time to call it a wrap, man. We've been killing it. Could do it again tomorrow. Day after. There's always the next day. We gotta get some sleep. You're on the East Coast just like me. It's almost midnight. We gotta get some shut
Yeah.
eye. And then in the morning, promise me you're gonna go for a 20-minute walk.
Well, I have that appointment with the psychotherapist. I'm gonna talk to him.
Okay.
There's some way I could post my MRI to non-contrast because that shit's a little scary. That's just.
Guys,
But it still is the golden ticket out.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been real. We're signing off.
Yeah.